the ways workplaces are unfairly built for men and women pay the price. Yeah, I'm sick of having this fight. What about you guys? I say we just leave. Leave the workplace, focus on subsistence, let the women have it. If they want to slave away and work themselves into early graves in thankless jobs, I say we let them do it. I'm going to focus on enjoying my hobbies. If whammons want to work themselves to death in my place, be my guest. I'm sick of fighting this. Just give it to them. They can have it. Modern offices like to present themselves as neutral spaces, sleek, standardized, and designed for productivity. But scratch beneath the surface, and many are still built around surprisingly narrow template. A 40-year-old man weighing around 154 pounds sitting at a fixed height desk in a room cool to his metabolic rate. Oh, is this another one of those articles that it's just stealth bitching about air conditioning again? Because that's what this is sounding like. Whammons are paying the price for that. Oh, that's right. Whammons most affected always. From air conditioning to desk height. You do realize chairs are adjustable if your desk isn't, right? You know there's this little lever on the right side of your chair. If you pull it, you can adjust the chair up or down to match the desk. You know that, right? I think I just blew some of these 304's minds. All right, to return to office mandates. Yeah, because that doesn't affect men at all. Right. Yeah, men are looking forward to doing the hour each way commute again. That's right. And even more dress expectations. I will outright call bullshit on this one. Every place I've ever worked that had a dress code, the dress code was only ever enforced on the men. Like, I had to be there at the very least in a button-up shirt and suit pants and fancy shoes. Like, it couldn't be tennis shoes. No. It had to be those shoes without laces or anything, right? And yes, my socks had to match my pants because I got an ass chewing about that. Because like one time my socks were slightly darker shade than my pants were, and one of the Karens in the office, a male Karen, was flipping them's shit. The women though, they could walk around dressed like prostitutes, and if anyone said anything to them, it was sexist. So don't complain to me about dress codes. Okay? And yes, it was basically business casual. If customers were on site, we had to wear the full three-piece suit. The men did. The women could still walk around dressed like prostitutes, though. There were dress codes in the books for women. They were just never enforced. Experts say whammons are often adapting to environments that were never truly designed with them in mind. So whammons invade someone else's space and then complain that that space wasn't designed with them in mind. That's the TLDR of this article. And that mismatch repeated 8 hours a day, 5 days a week can add up. Yeah, I bet you'd be a lot happier if you were just stayed home all day, huh? The office wasn't designed for whammons. Look, it wasn't designed for men either. Like, you realize the office is just a fancy prison, right? Do you really think men are comfortable there? But again, you can have it. Do whatever you want with it. We're leaving anyway. Guess what? All of these easy white-collar jobs are about to be replaced by AI anyway. You can fight the clankers for these positions. It was designed for the default human, and somehow we all agree the default human runs at 70 degrees, sits comfortably in a chair built for a 5'10" frame, and never needs a private space to pump breast milk between back-to-back meetings. Bold assumption. Yeah, what's a bold assumption is that sitting in meetings counts as work. Do you guys remember those a day in the life of big tech employees videos that used to be all the rage until companies started using those videos to fire people? These women think that going to like 2 half-hour long meetings in an 8-hour workday counts as work. That default human historically modeled on the average male body shapes everything from thermal standards to chair dimensions. You can bring your own chair. If you don't like the one that they provide, you can bring your own. Oh, but I shouldn't have to. Yeah, oh, okay. You know what? Do whatever you want. That's what I say now. Like when some woman is complaining, like, oh, I shouldn't have to feel unsafe when I'm walking home alone at 2 a.m. in the worst neighborhood in town. You know what? You're right. You go, girl. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do that. Go right ahead. Let Darwin take care of this one. Temperature. Yup, bitching about the air conditioning. Stephanie Alton, who works in the office equity and inclusion. Workforce equity and inclusion. So literally useless bloat. Why would anyone care what useless bloat has to say? Can we get the opinion of someone doing real work? Points to a long-standing research, a current year -6 PNAS study. Terrence Popp would love this one. Found office thermal standards are generally based on metabolic rates of a 40-year-old man. How much money do you think was wasted in this useless study? In practice, that means many whammons are working in environments calibrated for someone else's physiology. So what do you suggest we do? We calibrate it to your physiology instead and make the other people work in environments calibrated for someone else's physiology? Is that what I'm hearing? And it's not just about comfort, it's about performance. Oh, so they're going to use the air conditioner to excuse their poor performance. Oh, yeah, I would have done my job better if I had control of the thermostat. And then if you give them control of the thermostat and they still don't perform, they'll just move the goalpost. Office air conditioning has long been a punchline, but mounting research suggests it's also a productivity issue. Graves notes that thermal formulas used in modern buildings were developed in the 60s and using the resting metabolic rate of a 154-pound man. The air conditioning is literally making women less productive while men stay comfortable, she said. That's not a gender issue. That's a business problem. So what do you want to do? You want to make the women comfortable while the men are less productive? Is that your solution? And besides, what man in current year weighs 154 pounds? Seriously. Most women weigh considerably more than that nowadays. If these buildings were developed for 1960s men, that would be a lot closer to modern women than modern men. Think about this before you put it on paper, okay? I should not have to explain this to you. You're supposed to be the expert. Oh, right. You work in workforce equity and inclusion. The only thing you're an expert in is parasiting money out of companies. A workplace strategist and author Leanne Davey agreed over air conditioning the office results in performance deficits for women's, particularly their ability to excel at cognitive tasks. Women's continue to expend energy just to stay warm. I feel like I'm in a kindergarten here. Okay, let me explain something. If it's too hot, generally your only option is you have to take clothes off. So you could jack up the temperature and be fine with men walking around shirtless. No, of course you won't be fine with that. You're going to cry about that. So what about the other way? If you're too cold, you could put more clothing on. So, instead of walking around in your workplace dressed like a prostitute, how about you put some clothing on and dress your age? Have you considered that? It's a lot easier to warm up if you're cold than cool off if you're warm. Maybe put on a jacket. Maybe wear some thicker clothes. This is a very easy solution because if you propose jacking up the temperature, The men's only option will be to take clothing off. And you're going to complain about that too. Dude, like seriously, I feel like I'm a kindergarten teacher here, explaining this to like brainlets. Yeah, that's asking way too much. That's true. Speaking of, I think I actually got a good good screenshot here for this general situation. Like this is basically how I feel. Let me dig it up here. Let me find it. Yeah, unrealistic expectations, man. I'm starting to understand the crowd that keeps reading about anime pushing unrealistic expectations of women. Said unrealistic expectation is a good-looking woman saying, "I'm going to complete my bridal training and be helpful to you as your wife." Yeah, that is way too high a bar for current year whammons. Yeah, this is about as unrealistic as you can get. Yeah, I agree. Anime is pushing unrealistic expectations of women. Like we're supposed to expect them to fight us and compete with us and try to be men. Yeah, not being fat is already too high a bar. Agreed. Yeah, that's way too much to ask, man. In other words, whammons are burning mental bandwidth regulating body temperature instead of focusing on work. Because that's what they would do with that bandwidth. They totally wouldn't focus on finding the next thing to bitch about and make up excuses for why they're bitching instead of working. Furniture. Yeah, you're going to complain about that too, huh? Walk through many corporate offices, you'll see sleek rows of uniform desks and chairs. Standardization saves money, but it also assumes sameness. There are definitely a lot of offices where we see that were built for and designed by predominantly men. Well, there are offices designed by women, but they don't last very long. The desk, chairs, and other furniture are standard across the board, mostly suited to average male frames. Austin adds standard office chairs are often designed to fit the average male body. Desk heights and standing desks frequently don't adjust to accommodate petite whammons. Like you realize men can go from like 5 foot to over 7 foot just as easily, right? You think all men are the same? Right, the result is daily micro discomforts that compound over time. Yeah, this screams, looking for something to bitch about. Like this is basically microaggressions all over again. Like I got nothing to complain about. I need to make something up. Chairs that are too small, desks that are too high, and mice that don't fit in the whammons' hands because all cause distractions that dilute attention, reduce productivity, and increase errors. Whoa. Hold up. Chairs that are too small. Aren't women generally smaller than men? Oh, I get it. You mean in width instead of height. You're admitting that whammons need to hit the gym. Oh, nice self-own there, guys. So you need double width chairs, huh? You need them hut-sized chairs. Okay. Way to tell on yourselves. Yeah, next you're going to complain that you need double doors to even fit through the building? Because the 4 foot wide door was meant for thin men? Oh, man. Hashtag I can't even anymore. Chad, is this real? This has to be a parody article. Like this, there's no way this is serious. This article seems like it was written like specifically for me to laugh at. Very well done if that was the intention. I give you an 11 out of 10. It's a subtle but relentless drag on performance, and physical design is only part of the story. Well, maybe you'd have a lot more energy, both mental and physical, if you weren't obese. Have you considered all the energy your body is burning to maintain the extra 200 pounds of mass it doesn't need? Have you thought about that? You think maybe hitting the gym or eating less might fix more of these problems for you than inconveniencing everyone around you? Emotional toll. If you can't emotionally handle the workforce, you shouldn't be in the workforce. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, there's very, very few situations where someone being an emotional wreck on the job is excusable. Like, if you just found out a family member died and you just burst into tears, whether you're a man or a woman, most people will understand. It's like, oh, okay, you know what? That's a legit emergency. Why don't you take the rest of the week off and deal with your shit? We'll cover for you. But if every little inconvenience you turn on the waterworks, get out of here. You're fucking fired. We don't need you around here. Optimal performance requires that workers minimize their thought load. Oh, sounds like you got some very heavy, wide load thoughts there that you got to minimize. Yes, you're catching on. All right, the invisible tax on performance that comes from distractions, emotional triggers, and drains on energy, Darby explained. Yeah, so like imagine being a guy in one of these offices and you're trying to do real work and you got these useless blow tires constantly distracting you with shit like this. Yeah, we know all about that. Tell us more. The office environment is often problematic for women's across all three. Open plan layouts, once hailed as collaboration utopias, can amplify expectations that women's will be helpful, accommodating, emotionally steady, even when overloaded. Open offices are shit and hated by everybody. Women most affected. That's all this. Men hate this too. You understand? Nobody wants. Look, I used to think cube farms were like the ultimate in dehumanization in the workforce until I worked in an open office. Oh, never again. No. Like I get the complaints about open offices, but making this a women's problem? Seriously? Do you actually think men enjoy open office environments? What is wrong with you people? And women's are expected to help because men aren't. Yeah, so I guess if you're a man in an open office environment, you're never expected to help. Someone bothers you, you can like slap them and tell them to go away because you're just a man. That's how it works, right? Like this is like literally the peak women most affected article. This is the worst one I've ever read. Yeah, men are. No, this is dead on. Men aren't whining constantly, so they must enjoy it. No, that I think you're onto something. So men don't constantly bitch about everything. So these women's just assume, oh, they must be fine with it. Well, again, I mean, have fun. You can have the office, especially with AI taking over all the white collar work. Guys are starting to go more into trades now anyway. I mean, women are expected to put on a show, but men aren't. Research shows this kind of surface acting, suppressing frustration, and performing positively is a major contributor to burnout. No men have ever experienced this. Yeah, this is 100% a woman problem. Yeah, so men, it's just expected that if they're having a bad day, that they act out, they yell at everyone, they threaten violence. Oh, that's just how men are. No, we don't fire people for that. Yeah, men aren't expected to perform positivity or suppress frustration. Nope, this 100% just a woman's problem. Return to office. Oh, tell me again how women are most affected, please. The physical workspace reflects male defaults. Return to office mandates risks reinforcing them. Every single man would rather stay home. The only exceptions are the power tripping managers that find it harder to micromanage when they're not literally sitting over their team's shoulders. Most of them are women, or a lot of them rather, not most. It's about 50-50 from my experience. A national survey by Modern Health found that 74% believe the return to office makes it harder for working mothers to stay in the workforce, and 69% say RTO disadvantages mothers more than fathers. So the same women that always make excuses for why they shouldn't have to do the housework, why the man needs to do his half of the housework, why he needs to do his half of the child raising, when it's convenient for them, oh, but this gets in the way of me doing my motherly duties, which you pawn off on your husband anyway. RTO mandates are exposing cracks in how workplaces support women's. Look, you realize these return to office mandates are almost entirely a way to do layoffs nowadays. I'm not a fan of them either, but they do a really good job at catching a lot of bloat. A majority of working mothers are carrying the dual physical and mental load of professional and caregiving responsibilities. Companies that ignore this reality risk accelerating the burnout and driving experienced women's out of the workforce. Well, hopefully you could replace them with men that won't complain about everything and will actually do the job. And uniforms. Oh, that's right. Tell me again about dress codes that often get ignored for women. Even clothing reflects the adjustment women's make to navigate male-coded spaces. Women's are expected to dress for an office that wasn't built for them. Bullshit. Even if the rules state there are dress codes for women, they're never enforced on women. Unless your boss is also a woman and she's a catty bitch. Like that's like the only time I've ever seen women held to the dress code. Yulia Konoval, founder of a women's wear brand Bujiko, says many of her clients feel offices are structured around male norms physically and culturally. Like I said earlier, you keep invading male spaces and then crying that they're not built for you. Women's often adjust their outfits to appear more serious or authoritative in order to gain equal respect. Meanwhile, the guys are just laughing. It's like you look. I'm debating. Should I tell women this? Like, some guys might get mad at me for revealing the secret here. You know what? I'll do it. I'll take my lashes. I'll take my beating. Women, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. The way men see you when you dress to try to appear more serious and authoritative is the same way we see 5-year-olds who try to mimic their dad in how they dress and behave. Oh, how cute. Little Billy thinks he's the boss. Aw. Here, come sit in the corner office. That's literally how we see you. It's so obvious when you're just playing pretend. But if you want to keep doing it, be my guest. Clothing becomes a tool women's used to navigate environments that weren't originally designed with them in mind. Let's say that's the case, yes. Forget what I just said. When the thermostat won't change or the furniture won't fit, the wardrobe becomes a coping mechanism. Oh, is that the excuse they're going to use for why they ignore the dress code most of the time? But as Graves put it bluntly, women's are spending their own money to compensate for institutional design failures. That's not empowerment. That's a tax. Because again, this never happens to men. Look, I've brought my own chair into the office before because I didn't like the one they gave me. Instead of bitching about it, I just brought my own. And the problem was immediately resolved. Is it a gender problem or just a problem? Oh, it's a gender problem, all right. The problem is one gender just keeps looking for things to bitch about and making up excuses for their poor performance. Not going to mention which gender that is, though. Certainly not everyone agrees offices are consciously designed for men. Tom Otto of Northeast College of Health Sciences argues that modern workplace standards aim to accommodate a wide range of body sizes. The real issue is, he says, how companies cut corners by opting for fixed height desks, limiting adjustability and cost-saving standardization. All of that, which could be avoided if you just work from home, by the way. But, we already talked about that. The issue is less about offices being designed for men, more about whether they are designed and implemented well enough to support a full range of people who use them. Yeah, because all men are the same. All men are exactly 5'10". They weigh 154 pounds. All men are exactly the same. So yes, all men are perfectly comfortable in the office. And the company successfully moving forward to accommodate women in the workplace are rethinking design entirely. And they're probably about to go out of business too if they're worried about stupid shit like this instead of making money. Prendergast says his firm has increasingly worked with female design leads and incorporated features like health rooms, more equitable amenities, and softer, more collaborative layouts. How about just go back to the cube farm? Like, look, the order of desirability when it comes to offices is obviously your own office is at the top. You want to have your own office with a door and everything. A shared office with one other person is next in line, where like you each get half. Cubicles, I would say, are third place. And open office isn't even on the list because that shit is not even desirable. Like open office is what you do if you want to punish people. Like that, an open office environment is literal hell. So yes, either offices or cubicles. Those are the only layouts that are acceptable. If you need something more collaborative, that's what meeting rooms are for. So you temporarily leave your office to go collaborate in the meeting room for an hour, and then you go back and close your fucking door. Now, the goal isn't to design for whammies, but to design for human variability. You realize you could do that by just letting everyone work from home, right? When talented employees are distracted by discomfort, drained by invisible labor, or forced to choose between caregiving and career progression, it's not just a Wayman's issue, it's a problem for everyone. All of these problems could be fixed by just working from home. So, hey, women, if you want to lead the fight to make work from home the default, I'll back you up on that because I want that too. I mean, even if I think all of your reasons are really fucking stupid, I still like the end result is something I can fight for. So I'll fight by your side. I'm not going to take you seriously and I'm going to laugh at you behind your back, but I'll fight by your side. As Graves put it, when your best talent is spending mental energy regulating body temperature instead of closing deals, that's not a Whammon's issue, that's a revenue leak. You realize that the type of bloat that complains about this is never your best talent. Your best talent is the kind of person who will literally like sit on the floor hunched over a laptop, so lost in the task that their physical discomfort doesn't even register until it gets so bad they can't they can't suppress it anymore. That's what your best talent does. If you got the time to be bitching that the thermostat is 1 degree off to your liking, you're clearly not spending enough of your energy and focus on your job, okay? Don't give me this, your best talent, okay? Because it's clearly not you. The future of work, if it truly aims to be human-centric and high-performing, cannot afford to keep designing for a default that never reflected the whole workforce in the first place. And the easiest way to deal with this is, like I said, work from home. Next up, just stay small. If you start a business with like 5 friends, chances are you have a lot of things in common. You can work through these issues. It's not going to be a problem. But if you want to be a cog in a big corporate machine, don't complain when you're treated identically to all the other cogs, okay? Like that's par for the course. It comes with the territory. You want to be a corporate drone, you're going to get the corporate drone experience. If you don't like it, do something else. But once again, I'm expecting too much. I really need to lower my expectations. So you guys can have it all. I'm about ready to check out.